Bridgette Cash shifted her '66 Mustang Fastback down into second gear and eased the car to a halt in the Vancouver Police Department parking lot. Her grip tightened on the steering wheel as she gazed up through the misting rain at the 4-story glass and brick building in front of her. It had been almost 4 weeks since she had last stepped inside police headquarters. She glanced down at the angry red line that ran across the back of her hand and thumb, and sighed. The knife wound was another permanent reminder of how dangerous her work could be. After 15 months in the job, she couldn't imagine doing anything else, but she found it almost impossible to switch off, even during her latest recuperation leave. She gazed up at the building again and frowned as she thought about the meeting she was due to have with her boss in a few minutes. Chief Inspector Felix Del Rey was a veteran cop, and he wouldn't simply take the word of a police psychologist that she was ready to return to work. Bridgette knew he would grill her about her mental state before he made his decision. She nodded once as a concession that she would do the same thing in his position. She thought over the questions he was likely to ask her. He would probe using all his skills as a police detective to satisfy himself that she was ready to return to the rigors of work and murder investigations. She had seen him interview dozens of suspects. Del Rey had a conversational tone that was subtle. He would engage her in casual conversation and then slip in a probing question. She wouldn't lie. That wasn't her style, but she would need to choose her words carefully. Although she had stopped taking medication, she still had trouble sleeping and would regularly wake up in sweats. Bridgette gently tugged at what remained of her left earlobe, a habit she had developed during periods of intense concentration. Unlike her right ear, the bottom of her left lobe was uncharacteristically flat, the legacy of a bullet that had almost ended her life during a shootout in her first murder case. The shootout haunted her for months, but she rarely thought about it now. Bridgette checked her watch. It was closing in on 9 a.m., just time for her to make it up to the second floor for her meeting. She sighed as she switched off the engine. Del Rey only had her best interests at heart, but her worst fear was that she would be assigned desk work until he was satisfied she was ready to return to her role as an investigator. She found desk work soul-destroying. Despite her IQ of 151, she had never pictured herself as an analyst sitting behind a desk. After getting out of the car, she buttoned her coat to keep out the rain and then walked across the parking lot. She decided she would head directly to Del Rey's office, rather than her desk in the common area, where all the detectives sat. They were all aware of her most recent ordeal, and another brush with death. Her peers were all well-meaning, but she wasn't ready to answer questions about her recovery, or what she would be doing next. She disliked being the center of attention, and figured it would be easier to steer the conversation away from anything personal and onto what she was doing next, after she had met with her boss. The ride up in the elevator gave her a final moment to rehearse her answers before the meeting. She murmured, "Let's get this over with," as the elevator door opened. Bridgette walked down the short corridor to Del Rey's office and paused in the open doorway. She studied her boss for a moment before knocking. Del Rey was in his early 50s and had the build of an aging wrestler. His short, dark, curly hair was now graying at the temples, giving him an almost distinguished look. He was street smart and had a loud voice that some of the junior detectives found intimidating. Bridgette smiled to herself. His thick, dark-rimmed glasses were perched on the end of his nose, almost defying gravity as he read an open file on his desk. She knocked once. "Hi, Chief." Del Rey looked up and smiled. "Well, well, look who's back. Come in and take a load off, Bridgette."